Hey there again, it's Dusty Thunder with another AITA story for you. This one is, am I the astronaut for not doing anything hostess-y for my in-laws' visit, given I'm 3 weeks postpartum?
Why are they all complicated tonight?
My husband's family lives on the other side of the country. We had our first child at the height of COVID, so my husband's parents, sister, and her family did not meet him in person until his first birthday. I just delivered our second 2 weeks ago. And my husband's family, 4 adults and 3 kids, asked if they could all visit during spring break to see the baby, which is the end of next week. I said okay. Although the 7 of them would be staying at an Airbnb, I know they would be spending all day, every day at our home to see the kids. I told my husband to make sure they know we will be ordering in every meal and beyond eggs and cereal and some drinks and snacks, i.e. chips and fruit. I wasn't planning to get much else. I'm also tired and up with the baby all night. I'm still trying to get breastfeeding established and I'm exhausted at the very thought of 7 people being in my house every day for a week while I'm trying to nurse and rest and manage a toddler's big emotions around a new sibling. His response was, well, we're going to need X and Y for my parents and X for the kids, and I was thinking one day I can make X. And he started describing needing to get the best bread and the best cheese, all of which would involve him taking trips to numerous stores and being gone for hours when I need help. He even said he was going to ask my dad, who occasionally buys us some specialty grocery stuff that I ask for and drops it off, to pick up a bunch of items for them. At this point, I got really mad. I said, I am not trying to go above and beyond here and play host when I'm 3 weeks postpartum. They can eat the stuff from the grocery store even if it's not the best and deal for 5 days. He then told me I sound spiteful. I'm also frustrated because when his family visits, my husband checks out a bit. He plays with his nephews and chats for hours with his brother-in-law, and I know I'm going to end up being the one setting out snacks, tidying up, etc., while the in-laws just want to hold the baby, which honestly is not helpful to me. He seems more concerned with his family having fun, the visit being a good time, and with them being comfortable than with me getting what I need. I'm worried he isn't going to have my back, so I will have to be the one to draw hard lines with his family to protect myself and my own well-being. We got into a big fight about it. I yelled at him and I'm not really talking to him right now. They show up next week and I'm feeling a lot of anger and resentment about it. So am I the asshole for not lifting a finger for my visitors? Update. Really grateful for the support. I honestly didn't know if I was just being hormonal or if I was justified in being annoyed with my husband. Wanted to clarify a few things in response to some of the comments. My in-laws have not said that they expect us to do anything or have asked for anything. My husband is the one indicating that we should be playing host to them while they're here, so maybe they will show up with sleeves rolled up. If past visits are any indication, I don't think that will be the case, as any help they provide or try to instruct their kids to provide ends up being more work for me than help. My mother-in-law has an autoimmune disease and is blind. She will be unable to help, and I absolutely don't expect anything from her. My father-in-law takes care of her needs. I know all she wants is to hold her granddaughter as a newborn, since she can't see her on FaceTime, which she wasn't able to do with my older one. I fully understand and support this, but I also feel guilty because I don't want her in the house 8 hours a day for 5 days straight. That's a lot. I have asked them all to take COVID tests before flying, to wear masks in the airport and on the plane, and that when they are directly holding the baby, they also wear a mask. I know they will respect those rules because my mother-in-law also has an autoimmune disease, so they're used to taking extra health precautions. Okay, that's the end of that story. My gut reaction to this is, if you are visiting someone with a fresh out of the oven newborn, and they're going to be staying at an Airbnb, but if you're going to be visiting them, period, whether it's for 30 minutes or 8 hours or a week or whatever, if you're visiting someone with a fresh out of the oven newborn, you are there to help. Yes, you get to hold the baby too. But while you're there, you are there to give mom a little respite, to give her a little bit of a break. And to say, you know what, this is a great time for you to go take a nap if you need to. Like, let me know what the plan is during this time. I will help in whatever way that I can. I am here to help. If you go visit someone with a newborn, you have to expect to be there to help. That's my reaction here. I wouldn't visit someone unless it was like a legit, like a 5-10 minute thing where it's like, oh my gosh, like we get to hold this brand spanking new baby and I know that you guys have lots of shit going on, so we'll get out of here. Or what can we help you with? But people just showing up and her husband expecting to have to entertain them and being more concerned about that than he is with helping with the baby is problematic. It's their second kid. So what I was thinking was this could also be hubby freaking out a little bit because with babies, more so on the, the birthing part or the brand spanking new baby, 3 weeks is still new, but it's 3 weeks old. Sometimes we guys freak out. And when we freak out because things are new, we focus on what we can control. And for him, maybe freaking out was was, I know I can control XYZ, and I know that I can be effective here, so I'm going to focus my efforts and my time and my energy on those things. However, this is his second kid. So that argument in my mind quickly fell apart once I saw that it was his second kid. So it can't be him freaking out. Maybe it is. You can still freak out when you have a newborn, but it hasn't been that long since the first one was here, and maybe he does feel a little bit useless on that side, but you just have to get over that shit, and you just have to roll up your sleeves and do the work. This is a teamwork thing. You can't just dump it on your wife, and the approach that he's taking here is going to land him in a spot where he is dumping it on his wife. So not only is her body recovering from pushing another human out, but she's also going to be running solo for a while he's entertaining guests. And that's a big problem here. So hubby obviously is taking the wrong path here, and whether he realizes it or not is the issue, and maybe that's the bigger issue here. So she did bring it up to him. I was going to say, if she doesn't bring this up and say, I see you getting wrapped up in this, I see you getting swept away with this, I need you to be focused on helping with the baby. At this point, it's still very much a tag team, 24/7, we're just surviving, hanging by a thread approach, because that's how it is with newborns. She didn't really say that. She said, I'm not trying to go above and beyond here and play host when I'm 3 weeks postpartum. They can eat stuff from the grocery store, even if it's not the best, and deal for 5 days. And then he said she sounds spiteful. Not the best choice of words, dude. But she didn't really clarify the big issue here. And the big issue was that he was getting distracted by this, and all of his energy was going to this. She could see where this path led, and I would have liked to see her say that to him and say, look, this is what I think is going to happen, and I need you to head that off, because I really need you to be focused on this. And that kind of clear communication in these kind of situations, especially when you're both hanging by a thread and you're having to take the tag team, like we're just surviving approach, that kind of communication is super important. But at that point, you're also running on fumes. You're both snapping at each other. It happens to every couple with a brand new baby. You're just in that mode where everything is difficult. But having a bunch of family come visit and be there all day, every day, not overnight, but all day, every day for like a week is just, it's too much. It's 5 days. Holy shit. If they're there for 5 days, they better be there to help. And maybe that's what OP needs to say to her husband here. And also, quit getting distracted by trying to play host for them. That's not what this is about. If they are here to see the baby, then the focus is on the baby. They can figure the rest of their shit out. You don't have to be their cruise director. But I think he's taking the wrong path here. I completely understand where she's at here. And no, OP, you are not the asshole for not doing anything hostess-y for your in-laws, because they should be there to help you. They should be doing hostess-y things for you. They should be ordering in food for you. They should be taking over for a while so you can shower. They should be taking over for a while so that you can nap. They should be pitching in to help you out, because when people visit someone with a newborn baby, that's how it's supposed to work, in my opinion. OP, no, you're not the asshole at all here. Maybe some clear communication to the husband about what you foresee happening and what you would like to see happen would be a good idea. It's possible that he could just be so fried that he doesn't see where he's heading. And you know what? Candy Thunder has to do that with me sometimes. She knows me well enough to see where my brain is going and to see where my actions are going to lead to, and for her to pull me aside and say, okay, here's what I think you're getting ready to do, and we need to avoid that. And especially if you're in a time like this where you're just fried and you're on autopilot and you're just following actions without really thinking them through, I appreciate that kind of communication. If anything, I want her to over-communicate with me, because then I know I can fix things if I know about them, and I'm not always going to see them. So maybe he's in the same boat here and he just doesn't see where he's headed, and he needs her to say, hey, asshat, this is what's happening. Fix it. It's possible.